Coach. Some might say it's cold. Others, like myself and my partner, we say this is football weather as we welcome you to chilly M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
On the double.
The mic. Check. 48's the mic. Hey. Rush in.
First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. And the catch made by Johnson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 12 yards that time and a Pittsburgh first.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
He's got some space. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber. Hey, zoom. Get it.
Operating from the gun, Pennington. Complete to Washington. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Okay, double up. Check. Fresno.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. The tackle will be credited to Jake Ryan.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Watch tight. Tight end right. 3 down.
X3, 218, chopper.
They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Set, ready? 60 outlaw.
Turn over. Get that ball.
Go. Shoot.
On 3rd down, Pennington. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Could not have thrown that out there any better. When the ball hit the ground, I thought it might go into the end zone the way it was angling, but perfectly jutting out at the 1.
You think maybe what we saw in practice came into play there? You know, he put those big cans down on the sideline and angled for him and shot for him. Looks like it worked out pretty well for him, too.
Come on, set. You put the plan. Check. 55 to Mike.
Come on, baby. Come on, let's go.
They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Watch 54. Watch 54. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
And now he'll tuck it and run. Room here to run. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. So forget about any talk of possible safeties. Here's 1st and 10, clear on the other side of the field. Now it's Jackson. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and it's a 2nd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good... And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. From 3 yards out, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again. Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
54 Mike. Let's go, D.
To throw on 2nd down, Pennington. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
On the set.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Ready. Ready.
From the gun, Pennington. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Marcus Peters came screaming in on the quarter blitz. Well, let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
Back to throw. Pennington. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
We own it. Go.
Operating from the gun, Pennington. And that will be incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Now, they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Running right, here's McAllister. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
He can run for it, and he will. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Hey, that QB's trash. Let's go.
And he's got room. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss. But with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
Check, check, check. Let's go.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. Now it's Jackson. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right, it felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the 30-yard line.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. Letting one go deep here for Gronk. And that will be incomplete. Try to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Hey, wahoo!
What screen? 48 Mike. 48 Mike.
You don't know no better. Hey, look. Hey, we don't like the death.
From the gun, Pennington. And that is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive, followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
On second down, McAllister. He'll have a first down past the 40. And shedding his way forward. And at the end of it, he's stripped. Ball comes loose. And he's going to take this all the way down to the Steelers' 21-yard line. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. On the give, McAllister with it. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass. Here we go. Here we go.
Now on 2nd and 13, Jackson. And that's incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
47's the mic. 47's the mic.
From the gun, it's Jackson. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6. They're mounting a nice drive here. Good chunk of yardage there again. O-line, they've been solid this drive.
They have that look about them right now that says, if you do anything but run the ball behind us, you're crazy. They have really moved it well on this drive, and they want to finish it off the same way.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half as the Ravens push further out in front. The quarterback run has eaten him up all game long, and there he goes again, this time into the end zone.
And what I like about what I'm seeing, absolutely running almost with impunity. He's not worried about his body. He's not worried about sliding. He's not worried about protecting himself. He's worried about getting yardage. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, you've got to start figuring out what these blocking schemes are and finding ways to defeat them.
We're going to work.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the team...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Let's go, D.
Bravo.
2nd and long. He gets this one to Johnson. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
On first down, Pennington. He's going to launch it for Washington. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
47's the mic, boys. 47. check.
Big grip.
Off play action. Pennington. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. This is caught inside the 15. And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Pilot, 64, weak. Check. Hey, Delta. Ready.
On 1st and 10, Pennington. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. It's a foot race. He's at the 50. He's at the 30, 20, 10, and he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Hey, Charlie.
I'm coming after you. Mike 48.
Let's go.
To throw again, Pennington. Looking for Tate, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question, because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on it. His teammates going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll run here with McAllister. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime.
On the double. Mike 55. Hey, eat. I got wide.
He may try and run for this. 5 yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the first.
Well, not a fun game at all for anyone who's playing defense on the field at this point. They just gave up another 1st down on another good run. I wonder if the defense coordinator just says, let's sell out, play against the run, and not worry about getting beat by the pass.
55 is my guy, 55. On deck.
This time, Jackson will throw it. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Watch the safety creep. Mike 5-5.
Now Jackson going to throw again. He's got the first down inside the 10.
Out routes are always timing routes. And if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds.
Here we go.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Bumps up the helmet. Here we go. Here we go.
Mike 55. Mike 55. Hey, defense is 6. Pull it. Half.
Under 10. Under 10. 10.
Now, motion. Hey, check motion man. Put your hands on him. Get hands on motion man.
A handoff to McAllister. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the first at about the 21. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. So on 4th down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker Justin Tucker out onto the field. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. Tucker's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one, as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it, touchdowns.
Here's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it...
And he's going to go down again. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
There's Jackson on 3rd and long. He's going to look deep down the field. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 20. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard. And they never get out of it, and that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's got some space here. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Tucker now to add the point after. And the kick here is good with a penalty flag down as well. And they may have run into him after the kick went away. So 5 yards for running into. Lucky it wasn't 15 for roughing.
No doubt about it, because they protect the kickers and the guys holding the ball almost as much as they protect quarterbacks in the pocket. They don't want those types of injuries.
This is fielded at the goal line.
Let's go,
First and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5.
Ready. 18 Gator. And
off the play fake. Pennington. Looking for Gronkowski, and he's got him complete. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Let's go, baby.
Looking to throw. Pennington. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Off play action. Pennington. And the pressure gets to him again.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
On 3rd down, here comes Jacobs. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is taken at the 23. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. On 1st down, McAllister. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
3rd quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
They'll keep it on the ground. McAllister. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They'll keep it on the ground. McAllister. And he's got this down to the 35. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Jackson from the shotgun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Stephon Tuitt in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Here's Jackson to throw. And this will be incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
First down, Steelers.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Ready.
Operating from the gun. Pennington. He's going to fire this thing deep right side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Check pass, check pass.
They'll run on 1st down. McAllister. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now in Baltimore. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
I got you.
Another run with McAllister. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. From the gun, Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Watch the twist.
To throw is Jackson. Flush to his right. Now he'll pull it down. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 44-yard line. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. This is McAllister. And able to push forward for right around 3 yards down to the 42.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 2nd and 7, Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack coming from defensive end Cameron Jordan.
But no takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. And a quick throw here, that's complete. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Sam Cook now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
6'6", bullet.
They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Pennington. And he's got an open man. It's Gronkowski. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. From the gun, Pennington. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it, yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Going to air it out deep for Gronkowski, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. McAllister, and he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here 1st and 10. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Hey, watch the slant. Slant.
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. And he will find his man on the outside. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left.
Oh, yeah, and here we go again.
On 2nd down, Ingram. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Check flag 47. Check flag 47.
On third down, McAllister. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Sam Cook now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And it's taken in at the 9. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Johnson the intended target, and it's second down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Pennington. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. J.J. Watt in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Baltimore, it's a 10th win on the year as they move to 10-3. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, it's going to all but eliminate them from the playoff picture as they fall to 5-8. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Cleveland to take on the Browns.